What's up, everybody? This is Happy2poo's. I've been getting a lot of questions lately asking me how I have my sorcerer set up. So I'm going to go ahead and make this quick video showing you. To start off with, my accessories are important. I like to have reduced magic cost accessories, preferably with the health bonus because I'm not spec very high into health. But the additional magic ones are also pretty sweet. In addition to that, I also play with high regeneration consumables because being able to cast more to me is more important than having a higher pool. Alright, to start off with, on my bar, my destruction staff, I have crystal fragments, and I have it morphed to be able to reduce the casting time to instant cast 35% of the time, which also reduces the magic cost, and it also does 20% extra damage. And then I have Mage Light. This is a permanent buff that increases your spell critical rating by 1540. That's roughly 30%. And it also reveals stealth guys and makes me take less damage from stealthers. So sorry, Nightblades, you're not doing shit to me. And the only unfortunate thing is it takes 5% of your total magicka away, but I have such high regeneration it doesn't really matter. And then I go ahead and I got Shock Clinch. I prefer the Fire Clinch because it does a knockback and a stun, but this isn't so bad either. This is my best weapon so far at this point. So you got your base damage, you got your DPS after that. Always a good thing to start off with because you're doing constant DPS while you're casting other skills. You also, in this, you have a chance to set off balance with the lightning. It's a slight AoE. But again, in PvP and PvE situations, most of them I prefer fire. Power Surge, I have it upgraded so that I have major sorcery and increased weapons damage by 20%. The reason being, Force Pulse and the Shock Clinch go off of weapon damage for some reason. They are scaled by weapon damage. I don't know why, but they are. So they're scaled by weapon damage, but they are also scaled by type of damage. So say you go into your championship points and you increase something that increases the shock damage, then the shock damage here will still go up, but it is still considered a weapon damage because it's from your weapon, period. I guess that's it. Okay, and then obviously I have Overload. Preferably once I get fighter's rank level 10, I will be able to have Dawnbreaker because it increases damage against Daedra by 60%, and with Expert Hunter it will also hit werewolves. In PvP that is significant, so everything on my skill bar here will do a shit ton of damage, and almost everybody is either a werewolf or a vampire, so it's fucking awesome. Okay, and since I'm here, I'll go ahead and show you these passes real quick. This is awesome. I'll tell you why later. The additional weapon and spell damage, fucking awesome. Okay, and let's go ahead and switch over to my resto staff. Alright, so pretty simple. I got Mage Light again. Then I have Overflowing Altar. This is my group heal spell. They can do their synergy for 65% of their max health. It does require some people around me to do a little work on their own, but that's a massive heal and it's essential in massive fights. So we got Power Surge again, and so we got increased weapon and spell damage by 20%, and criticals strikes heal you for 40% of the damage done. That also includes heals. So if you're healing and you get a critical heal, it's healing you extra as well. So, and then we got Lightning Storm. This is a little bit of a defense thing. Plus it does additional damage. The cool thing about this skill is, if you see, it's proccing 250 shock damage each second. Now if I go back to my Storm Calling, Disintegrate here gives all shock spells a 6% chance to disintegrate low health targets. It's roughly 25% health, and every single proc of the Storm Calling has a chance to hit for almost 10,000 health. And with the buffs of the spell power, etc., it's going to be even higher than that. So even while I'm on my health bar, I can still be fucking shit up passively. And then obviously you got your increased spell power. I got all of my storm calling passives. And I don't like the dangerous summoning bar at all. I feel like it's completely useless. And I'll tell you why here soon. But I did level it up enough to get this Power Stone, which reduces the ultimate cost of your abilities, and that is for my other ultimate from a different tree. And the passives and dark magic, I got basically all of them as well. Pretty fucking awesome passives there. Okay, and you can check those yourself because I don't have time in this video. And my super is Overload. Most people hate Overload, but the badass thing about Overload is it is affected by both magic damage and weapon damage buffs, and it is also a third skill bar. So pop that real quick. Strange thing about Overload though is if you look at your character window, the critical weapon is what it goes off of. Weapon critical is the critical stat that it goes off. It does not go off of spell stat because it is just doing light and heavy attacks. But the damage is based off of spell damage. So if I increase lightning damage, because it is a shock damage skill, it's going to increase in shock damage. And so let's go ahead and take a look at my skills here. Ooh. Fighter skill. So to start off with, I got Expert Hunter, which increases your weapon critical hit rating. That is to increase my critical hit rating with Overload. Okay, and then we have Power Surge, obviously 20% plus 20%. That's 40%. That does stack. And with this on, your critical hits will heal you for 40% of the damage. Right now, the base damage is somewhere in the 4,500 range. After the buffs, I'll show you what it is. Again, with Boundless Storm, you have the chance to proc. This is just a little bit additional damage, a little bit more defense, plus you're able to catch people. Degeneration, this is the only bar that I have this skill on. It's the Morph of Entropy. The reason why I have it on is while you have it active, your weapons have a 15% chance to heal you for 100% of the damage caused. I'm doing 5,000 damage to roughly 10,000 damage, depending on my procs. And so if I hit with that, I'm going to get healed for 100% of that damage. So if you have this up on your bar, and you're constantly throwing out your attacks, you're pretty much never going to die. Plus, it also grants major sorcery, increases your spell damage, which affects crystal fragments. So let's go ahead and buff ourselves up real quick and see what happens. Okay, so let's go ahead and first take a look at crystal fragments. It was just now doing roughly 3,500 damage. It just bumped it up to almost 4,000 damage. That's pretty good. Most supers don't even do that much damage. For instance, let's check out Storm Atronach. It's doubling the Storm Atronach's damage, and the Storm Atronach can't even move, and that's not even a super stack. Now let's take a look at Overload. Let's rebuff ourselves real quick. Oop. Now I'm doing 5,080 damage, and that's a base attack. And every time I attack, I'm doing 3% additional damage. So and that's accruing, stacking. So first attack, I'm doing 3, second, 6, third, 9, etc. Not only that, I'm getting 420 magic every time I hit. So if I want to, I can use this as a burst damage, I can use it as a burst heal, or I could use it to just restore my magicka to switch back to my DPS bar. Or I can do it to heal in either. So anytime I run out of magicka, pop it, cast out a few attacks, I get full magicka again, switch back, start healing again, or switch back, start doing DPS again. Or I can stay there and just continually kill people. There's roughly 1,000 points of ultimate that you can accrue. The cool thing about Overload is once you cast it, it doesn't take away all of them like many of the ultimates do. The initial cost is 0 as long as you have 64 ultimate on your bar. And every time you hit with a light attack, it's taking off 64 ultimate. So, but you're also, while you're fighting, you're gaining ultimate as well. So you're able to cast this hundreds of times potentially before you run out if you have a full bar. Now you have to have it saved up quite a bit to do that, but the benefit of being able to continuously damage in that regard, plus heal yourself, plus gain magicka, I mean, it's just absolutely insane what you can do with this bar. I mean, you can literally just continuously fight and just wreck people. I have gone into fights with me and one other person, and we've killed 8 people just because I'm able to do so much DPS. And it's continuous and it doesn't stop and it's unrelenting. And then even if I run out of this, I can switch back to my other bar, cast some stuff because I have a full mana bar, and then because this refills so fast, I can switch back to this, still throw out, 5 to 10 shots, and then switch back before my ultimate's done again. So that's what my bar is based off of. It's extremely potent. It has a lot of longevity for fights. It's extremely hard to kill you because you're healing so much. A little bit of a pain in the ass to keep the enchantments up, but it's a very good build, so I highly recommend you check it out. Now, as you can see, I'm wearing heavy armor. I realize that light armor will give you higher DPS. If you're going for a straight up glass cannon, go ahead and go with this because you get a passive bonus to your spell critical. So you're proccing your heals, you're proccing your damage a little bit more. So you're definitely going to be, plus you have spell penetration, which makes it so that your skills will ignore the defense that the opponent has. The reason why I'm going with heavy armor, however, is because I stacked so much into Magicka that I was having trouble taking damage. So I decided just to go into heavy armor, get some bonuses for my health a little bit. Later in the game, once I get my champion points set up so that I have higher health and health regeneration, I'll probably switch back over to light armor. Just to be able to be a little bit more efficient and a little more effective in PvP. But as it stands, the combination of my consumables that I use all the time and my base Magicka regeneration, I don't really need these buffs. I don't really need them. This would be fucking awesome. I mean, these two things right here would be sweet to have, but again, don't really need them. So I went ahead and went with heavy armor for now. I feel it's a little bit more of a priority for me in PvP to be able to stay alive. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I hope this video helped somebody. Like any build, it's a work in progress, so I encourage you guys to make your own tweaks and spins on this build. Or maybe it just gave you some ideas to work your own build out. Anyways, thank you all. Upload Hounds, baby. Woo woo!